Your life purpose will happen because you are alive. You're getting inklings all the time in your personal body. You're getting inklings of feelings of things you might need to explore. Explore that shame. Explore that feeling that's happening every time someone texts you or doesn't text you, or you have to go into a room that makes you anxious. Like every feeling, every experience your body is having, you're going to be feeling it, trying to understand it. Not trying, you're perceiving it. You're perceiving what's going on. This is what's going to help you throughout this time. You can use your own discernment, but all those feelings are going to be different for each person, and then the way that you do it and the time that you do it and the manner and all that stuff is very specific to you. But the only thing that has helped me and kept me coming back to a sense of purpose, a sense of higher meaning for my life. Like, yes, you can know all this information. You can understand the information. You can talk about the information. But if everybody in your reality is not seeing what you're seeing, you live the truth anyways. Continue to live the truth, and you continue to go along your path, because these videos eventually will show like that missing, whatever I'm here to do, like that piece, it shows it. It either will show it to me when I'm rewatching them, or it will show it to you. Like, there's not like one piece. I'm saying there's things where you rewatch them later and you're like, what the fuck was I watching? So what I'm saying is, if you have a craft that people kind of think are ridiculous around you, or you want to do it a different way, you're your own person, right? You're a little intense. You're kind of different. You're different. You have information that's different. There's a bunch of tarot readers. There's a bunch of people on here on YouTube, but there's also a bunch of all the other things. You're different though. It's your own thing. There's no more delaying this. It's your own thing that you will see after a while. Like, it doesn't have to be a while, but after time, and you believe it yourself, you'll start to see examples of growth, and you'll start to see what you're doing has a purpose. Like, you ever start a project and you're like, in the middle of it, you're like, I don't even think I should finish this. And this may be happening sometimes with you, and it's happening right now. I feel it's happening right now, honestly. And you think, so stupid. But then maybe one time you do finish that project that you really thought was stupid and it came out really fucking cool. Maybe you never thought you would have a partner that you loved. You never thought you would be intimate in certain ways that you love, that you never thought that you can feel these feelings as a person until you feel them. And then you're like, wow, I'm glad I stuck with that. I'm glad I said, no to these certain situations, got myself out of situations so I can experience what it's like to be in these other relationships, more soulful relationships that people care deeper and deeper and deeper. And yes, you have the possibility of getting hurt very deeply, but then you also have the possibility of finding those gems that it's showing you, and seeing those pieces of yourself that you just completely negated and threw away when you're with other people because you were, you thought you were programmed to believe that's what love was. You just, my life's about this relationship now. It's like when you're younger, but you're growing past that stuff, and you've had to rebuild your stuff, yourself. And you could be still young and having to do this anyways, because you're coming in with a very heightened consciousness. So that means you might go through experiences that are intense, but then you repair quickly because you had this intense experience and learning lesson where now you have to overcome things. It's like you're building. You're never just because you don't have exactly what you thought you would have 10 years ago or a few years ago, money, status, a following, whatever you thinking you're wanting, influence, you're preparing to be able to hold that type of influence. Because yes, you can have influence for, say, certain things. like, and everyone's different and everyone has a different reason for doing things. Like someone could have a disease and they end up juicing, and now, you know, they save themselves from juicing and that's why they make juicing content. But I'm just saying, you could be known for juicing, or you could be known for this kind of shit, like leading communities of people to live in the new earth in a different way. Then you hire that juice person to come teach about the benefits of vegetables and eating less and drinking the food, you know? So I'm just saying, like, just because you're not exactly where you think you should be at this moment, it doesn't work like that. It doesn't actually work like that. And that's something I have personally understood in a very deep way. There's a purpose for you. There's a purpose for everybody. And there is, if you have a dream, there is like an audience for it, that there are ears that need that perception to get them past this one little thing. And that could be worth so much to them though. It's like your skill. It's like, okay, the guy that invented the cinder block, like there's a story where they used to make blocks of cement, and it was so heavy, like you could barely move around. It was like inefficient. So this one guy created, or building houses instead of bricks, and the foundation is now built with like cinder blocks, and it's a concrete shape that has the same structure that's very strong, if not even stronger. Actually, I think it was stronger than a different way of doing it before they were invented. And it's lighter because there's, you know, if you look at a cinder block, there's like 2 holes, and the structure is different. You can stack them on top of each other and I guess mortar them together. But before that guy invented, it's like a step. It's one thing that's used over and over and over and over and over and over, and now it's the foundation of houses. So I'm saying you have a skill that if you stop now, you will never know. And I just saw 11:11, I'm getting chills. I wasn't even gonna do this. I just got home from the sauna. Like, you will never ever know a world that's built on the thing that you're learning about. You don't even have to be an expert. That's the thing. You become an expert just by virtue of like you're obsessed with this. Like for me, it's uncovering emotions. It's feeling emotions. How do I live a really rich life without addictions? Without avoiding feelings, without basically anxiety? And the answer, at least in my life, and this is what I'm feeling is really helpful right now. If you're seeing this video, like if you're just listening to me talk, this might be significant. Who knows? Use your discernment, because that's your choice. But the feelings of what's going on inside you are like explaining what your body is feeling. So if you're feeling anxious, it's for a reason. Maybe you create a story about what that means too. So you walk into the room and everybody looks at you and you get anxious. You could be like, oh shit, now I'm I better keep my hat on, because without it, sometimes I feel like a crazy person. I don't even know what's going on. Or you could be like, actually, if everybody looked at me in the room, doesn't mean I'm magnetic as fuck. And doesn't that mean I hold a certain amount of honor, where actually now I should slow down. Now I should recognize that people are watching me, even unconsciously, like children watch people that vibrate at a high vibration, or people that are in tune with things. They watch them, and you're an example. Could be unconscious. It's just, you know, when people look over at you at the gym and everybody looks and you're walking down the thing. That doesn't happen to everybody. I've seen it because I watch other people. And it's your aura. It's not what you're wearing. What you're wearing could physically change because of, you know, but I'm covered. I'm not like, sorry. I'm just saying, like, you know, I'm not like, there's nothing against wearing, I do wear my sports bra sometimes, but when I'm walking down the aisle, and the example I'm talking about is I'm just walking in the big ass sweatshirt, I'm walking. There's nothing that's supposed to be a spectacle, and not to say that should be a spectacle even if I was in my sports bra, because I think we should all be able to be fucking shirtless. We weren't born with bras. God, it's just so weird. Like, yeah, you see some tits and you're like, oh my God. I mean, everybody does it. Like, even the women, it's like, but sometimes you're like, yeah, you know, if you know what I'm saying. It's like, come on, we should be able to do whatever the fuck we want as humans. And that's the thing. That's what I'm saying. You're an example. So now I don't wear a bra when I go to the gym, and I just lift and I just act like I'm just part of the, and I've seen multiple other people do that, you know, and I used to do that all the time. And I used to just walk around without shoes on, and people would, I started feeling judged, and you have to push past that is what I'm saying, because there's no point. And now, after all these years, I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Sometimes I give a fuck, but sometimes I don't. It's like, why? Because do you want to impress this person that you're on a date with? Or do you want to impress this person, your friend? Do you want your friend not to knock you because they're close to you and you've had trauma with your friends? like, you know what I mean? What is it? Because all those things that you're feeling could be explored. And we have to do this as a society in your own way, in a fun way, in the middle of the day, while you're working. It's not a practice. It's a life. It's life. Life. Like, I used to smoke a pack of cigarettes a day. I would smoke weed every second. Like, this entire 2025, I went through a lot of shit. Like, a lot of dark things that sucked. And it was like the remnants of a lot of different things. My cat is just looking at the ceiling like as if there's people over there. And you probably had a big releasing year too, but I learned some very valuable information, and your habits create your life. And that's what I learned, and in a very visceral way. And you can't get to new habits unless you feel and understand and perceive what is happening in your body, because your body is going to naturally go for things like a cigarette on your drive home, on your walk with your dog. It's going to naturally remember certain things, and your brain, your body gets a dopamine hit from it, which we understand, but like people like to mash it up and put it into like 5-minute little shorts. It's like, no, like, let's just slow it down for a second. Let's just break it down. Your body remembers things. Your body does. So you might have a shift change, a belief change. You do your inner belief work and you do limiting belief work. If you don't know what that is, leave a comment. I could do a video on that too. But you're changing beliefs, or you're thinking, oh, there's other ways to think. But nothing changes because your body is still doing the things that you were programmed to do, that you are familiar to that thing. And also, thoughts are contagious. So when you wake up and you normally think certain thoughts like, fuck this shit, gotta get up, gotta go to this job I hate, that is, even if you're doing the same thing, just in a different way or in a different company or in a different setting, you can completely change your life. And I've done this. And this is now speaking from experience. And I didn't realize what I was doing before I even left a different job, but I do the same thing and I have a lot more time, a lot more room to expand myself, understand myself, a lot more time alone, not being bombarded, and I got to understand myself in a year, and it was very painful. I was avoiding a lot of shit. And I actually had a soul contract that ended up happening right as I was starting to feel that. Well, that soul contract, like, it's almost like a part of that contract, it reached a certain summit. Like, that was always meant to happen. Like, disagreements, or like an energetic, it didn't even feel like a disagreement. It felt like a energetic, like a supernova, like, and it broke me apart. That was like the last thing that like broke me internally. Like, I just felt like a core wound of just unworthiness, of like, I cannot believe like that like I'm not cared about as like a person. That's how I felt. And I realized that feeling And that's why I contracted, I think, that soul contract to show me that experience. Because in my perception of the experience, that's what I felt. And that was a link. But the way the situation happened, and this might happen to you, was maybe you didn't recognize it was like, like you have an intense reaction to something that you kind of, not that you shouldn't have a reaction to, but it feels like a dramatic reaction when you look back and you're like, oh. But nothing's dramatic is what I'm trying to get at. Because the feeling that you felt or that person made you feel then shifts something within you where you start to feel where did that come from. And I led it all the way back to my father and my grandfather and certain abuses and stuff that I went through. And you're recreating those things, abandonment. You're recreating those things so that you feel them, so that you can heal them. And then reality changes. It's like completely different. And you see it for what it is. You're like, oh, but you have compassion for yourself. And what I found through that experience was a deep sense of love underneath everything. Okay, you want to go under here? Okay. A deep sense of love under everything I was feeling. And you, I feel like, are experiencing either that right now, like another ego death, like the final, they call it the betrayal, before the real like soul connections start coming in. Like it feels like a soul connection because of what's happening, but it needs to feel like that so that you go through what you need to go through, and you go through it. You could have even initiated it, who knows? But you go through it and you see, oh, this is where my power was this whole time. This is something I was just generating because I was on it's like you were in this life and you just took that thing as part of your life, and then it shook. It's like I don't want to make it like this, but it kind of feels like this. It's like, you know, when like you have like a bowl full of fruit, and then you have like the one thing that's like rotting, and you're like, what smells? Like when sweet potatoes rot, they like smell. And I learned that in an interesting way. But anyway, so whatever. So like the one thing is rotting over there, and you're like, what smells in here? What smells in here? And you don't understand. And then you get to that point where you're like, oh, this makes perfect sense. It's a rotting sweet potato. Like, throw that one away, and throw the ones away that were rotting with it. But you're not judging it. You're like, fuck that sweet potato. Fuck that sweet potato. No, you're just like, oh, that's what it is. That is what happened, and that is what it is. But the way that all happened in your life, or in this example, is like a foundation of love is built because you understand, like, you've gotten through some of the craziest shit in your life, and you can get through things that you thought were going to like save you. Like this, like, funny because they talk about like Jesus saving you and stuff. It's like, it's not like Jesus, but it's like you want another person or a job or this money or something to save you. Your feelings save you from this suffering. This relationship's gonna save you from this suffering, this person, this happiness, this version of you that can get through anything that is so beautiful and sexy and capable and on purpose is attached to this thing, purpose, to this thing, person, job, or amount of money. And then the universe goes, no. And you're left with what you actually are. And then you have to forge that yourself. And I felt it once. And you know what? They weren't even present really in my life. I'm the one doing this. I'm the one feeling this shit. This good shit. I'm the one feeling this. Not them. And if I'm the one feeling this is a piece of me that was here before. If I'm the one feeling this, then that means all this other shit that I was feeling, I'm the one feeling it. I'm not necessarily just, you do consume other people's energy and stuff like that, but I'm not necessarily doing that all the time. Sometimes it's just fucking me. Sometimes it's just, as empaths, we like to think about it like that. Excuse me. Like, we love to think about it like that. We love to place the blame on other things. Oh my God, there's just like so much energy here. I just can't. But then you go home and like scroll on TikTok. You don't go home and like be like, what inside of me? Where is that feeling of overwhelm? And work with it for 5 months until you really, really feel it and see it and understand that part of you, and then bring it back to, it doesn't even have to take 5 months. I'm just saying some of these things are deep as fuck, and they're layers and layers and layers, and you have to keep looking back. But there's a foundation of feeling is this entire video's premise, and the conclusion is, when you're feeling and you're perceiving what's really happening for you, you can see the truth in the matter. And the truth used to be spit on in this world and just degraded and outcasted. But right now, people are looking back and being like, all those conspiracy theorists are kind of right. All those people that believe this shit because they can discern within themselves, because they felt, actually, yeah, this makes a lot of sense. Actually, it makes a lot of logical sense to me. And then it gives you a bigger understanding of the universe, where you start to look at these spiritual truths being physically proved by science. So what I'm saying is, use your discernment, and as you move through life, you're feeling and understanding what's coming up for you within yourself in a safe space. And that is naturally bringing you at a higher vibration, naturally helping you ascend towards your purpose. Naturally, you're moving into the version of you that you're actually wanting, not those physical things. You're moving into the version of you that you're wanting, almost because you're releasing resistance by feeling and understanding. I'm going for my energy drink that I normally just drink unconsciously, but before I do that, why am I so tired? I just woke up. Why am I exhausted and I want to cry? And I felt that before I would go to my addictions, and I would go. And then I cried for like a year, like every day. And I don't want anyone else to ever have to feel that amount of pain alone. So you can keep watching, and I'm uncovering things that help me get through very intense healing where I felt like nobody's understanding and getting it. And there are all kind of tools. Whatever you discern and feel within yourself is important. You need that. But also trust yourself. Trust yourself and build that relationship with yourself, because that's the only thing. If that exercise helps you be closer to yourself, that's the only thing that is staying with you. That's the only thing that can get you out of this pain, is you. Your conscious presence. You don't even have to do anything. You don't even have to do an exercise, a course, a fucking thing. No. You sit and you go, Alicia, what do I feel? What am I feeling? And you're feeling the sensation within your own body, and you're trying to like commune with all those feelings, and you're trying to be present. You're not trying, you're just noticing, and that is being present. And there's so much to go into it. It's more in depth than just that, but that's just where you start. And you let whatever comes up come up. And you find a way, you put yourself in your room, you make yourself feel safe by feeling. And that for me feels like the antidote to what's happening in this experience on earth that's getting confusing. All right, so if you have any questions, thank you for staying. Definitely subscribe if you love this earth and you want to live in a new earth. You want to live in a life where it's conducive. You can meditate whenever you want. You could step into a healing center whenever you want for free. You live in an eco community. These things that we were saying, as a result, there's a conspiracy. The world is here. You wake up, you get angry. You're like, fuck this shit. Are you joking? You understand all the information. And you do that for an extended amount of time, whatever that is for you, whatever. Then you start going, what are the solutions? There's a bunch of research about the solutions. Then you go, who are the people that can create that? And that's where I'm at. Well, I go through all the different phases, within them, but I'm at the phase where I'm like, where are the people? We're creating this together. So that's what this is all about, is bringing everyone together, because we're all part of this thing. Okay? All right. I love you. Leave a comment, subscribe, and I will be here, and we're going to do this world together. Make it.